The Emancipation Proclamation made by President Abraham Lincoln in 1863 freed slaves in the southern American states during the US Civil War. Emancipation means freeing of someone from slavery. That means they can have every right. That is the process of being set free from legal, social, or political restrictions. Boyhood Days is an excerpt taken from Up from Slavery. It is an autobiography of American educator Booker Taliaferro Washington. He prefers to be addressed as a Booker T. Washington. He was an African American teacher, author, presidential advisor, and civil rights leader. He was born in Virginia in 1856. That means by the time Emancipation Proclamation was announced, he was 7 years old. In his autobiography, as a member of the colored race, he explained the difficulties that colored race faced in their desire to educate their children. People who were deprived of their personal freedom and forced to perform labor or services without any compensation. After long suffering, when they gained freedom through Emancipation Proclamation, they decided to do two things. They were number one, changing their lost name to new ones. After Emancipation Proclamation, many former slaves adopted new names and surnames. They did so to take on a new surname for the first time or to replace a name or surname given to them by a former master. Number two, leaving their old plantation for at least a few days to feel free, because during the 19th century, enslaved African Americans worked on large plantations in the US Southern under brutal conditions. So, Washington's family, who were slaves, had left a farm in Franklin County in Virginia. They made their way to the Kanawha Valley. Washington's stepfather was living there. He sent for his mother to come to the Kanawha Valley in West Virginia. The journey was painful, as it took several weeks for them to reach Kanawha Valley, which was several hundred miles away. There, the 9-year-old Booker was put to work in the salt furnaces where brine was boiled down to make commercial salt. Brine means the water strongly impregnated with salt. Their new house was in a little town called Malden. It was right in the midst of the salt furnaces. Their new home was in the midst of a cluster of cabins crowded together with no sanitary regulations. Their neighbors were colored people. Quarrels and fights were frequent in their place. Very soon, Booker T. Washington learned one of the reasons his stepfather, Washington Ferguson, had sent for him to come to Malden. He and his brother John had to work helping him pack the salt. The first thing Booker learned to read was a number. Every salt packer was assigned a number to mark his barrels, and Washington Ferguson's was 18. At the close of every day, the foreman would come around and marked that number on all the barrels that Washington and his boys had packed. And the boy, Booker, not only learned to recognize that figure, but to make it with his finger in the dust or with a stick in the dirt. He knew no other numbers, but this was the beginning of his burning desire to learn to read and write. After getting home, he went to his mother and expressed his desire to learn to read and write. When he asked, she noticed his interest in learning and got him an old copy of Webster's Blue Back spelling book, which contained the alphabet. In spite of being an illiterate, his mother was wise and she appreciated the importance of education. In a few weeks, he learnt all the alphabet without any teacher. Until then, very few black Virginians received education. But gradually, people realized the need of a school for their children. They determined to educate themselves by securing their own teacher and even paying for a school as best they could. As there were no schools for colored children, the establishment of a school was very difficult for them. It was tough to find a teacher for the school. Fortunately, they found a colored man who had been a soldier. Each family agreed to pay certain amount per month. They hired him and paid to have their children taught education, with the understanding that the teacher would spend a day with each family. People used to look forward earnestly to have the teacher as their guest. They looked after him very respectfully. People developed intense desire to be educated, as it was a whole race was trying to go to school. As fast as any kind of teachers could be secured, not only were day schools filled, but night schools as well. The great ambition of the older people was to try to learn to read the Bible before they died. When a school was opened in Kanawha Valley, his stepfather did not spare him from his work. However, he did not give up his desire for education. He requested his teacher to teach him lessons at night. After few days, he was permitted to go to school in the day, with the understanding that he was to rise early in the morning and work in the furnace till 9 o'clock and return immediately after school closed in the afternoon for at least 2 more hours of work. This practice made him late at school and often caused him to miss his lessons. To overcome this, he resorted to a practice. There used to be a large clock in the salt furnace that kept the time for hundreds of workmen connected with the salt furnace and coal mine. as he found himself continually late at school, and after missing some of his lessons, he yielded to the temptation to move forward the hands on the dial of the clock so as to give him enough time to permit him to get to school in time. This went on for several days until the manager found the time so unreliable. At school also, he had two difficulties. In the first place, he felt quite uncomfortable for not wearing a hat or cap like his classmates. When he told his mother of his problem, she sewed one for him instead of borrowing money to buy a hat. In that way, her strength of character inspired him not to be led into temptation. His second difficulty was with regard to his name. He had always been called Booker, but all his classmates had at least two names. Until then, he never felt that he should have an additional name. When the teacher asked him what his full name was, he thought for a while. The teacher demanded two names because the attendance register required a first and last name for every student. Then the boy named himself as Booker Washington. As soon as he learned that his mother had named him Taliaferro, he made his full name Booker Taliaferro Washington. Thus, he had the privilege of naming himself. Finally, Washington suggests in an aside that ancestry is an important part of society and it can motivate individuals to pursue success. Since black Americans have no ancestry, as a result of slavery, they are at a distinct advantage. Washington suggests that instead of relying on ancestry to motivate them, black Americans must begin to form a legacy now for their future children by striving for excellence in American society. He says that it is not the status or station in life that reflects one's merit, but the obstacles that one has to overcome. In this way, Washington feels that black Americans have an advantage in society because they have more obstacles to overcome and thus more opportunities to prove their merit.